お前らのようなクズが
Flashback.
Yo, Kagurabachi chapter 84 is officially out and we got... Huh? Yes, the rumors are true. Unfortunately, your boy is employed. So if y'all was wondering where I was last week, yes, I was putting the fries in the bag. But we back this week and we got a lot to talk about in a short amount of time. So let's hop straight into it. Quick recap from last chapter, Chihiro got his Talk No Jutsu on Hall of Fame, and Samura and Chihiro decided to stop fighting and head to Tokyo. This chapter picks up in Tokyo at the Kaminabi headquarters. We see someone in the library pulling out a book about the Ishaku. As they flip through the pages, they recall Chihiro's words. The Ishaku is a group of around 10 sorcerers led by a man named Yura, whose goal is to kill the sword master and wield the Shinichi. The Ishaku are full of members whose names aren't in any family registry, who possess sorcery from outside the dominant lineages, and who span a wide age range. But all of them have the skills to pull off an assassination on our boy, Kunoshige Rokuhira. Their track record got bro shivering in his boots like, who are these guys? We learned that their relationships, their backgrounds, and their history as a group are all shrouded in mystery. And honestly, I'd hope the people out here committing war crimes are at least smart enough to hide who they are. We cut back to Azami and... Bro, Samurai Hishaku really got himself off screen. Maybe Azami really is Shiva's best friend. Azami thinks this whole thing is creepy, like something feels off. And for all three of you Samurai Hishaku fans out there, let's just hope this was a clone or something, because ain't no way bro pulled up just to get put down. Azami notes that 3 enemies are inside, but the other 4 have yet to be seen. We cut to underground level 5 with our boys Uraha and Hakuri as they face off with some enemies. Uraha starts clowning the Ishaku, saying all they ever do is use pawns to avoid taking risks, then swoop in at the end to steal the kill. And bro is just talking, because as far as we know, they actually pulled up themselves and gave our boy Kunoshige a free ticket to a Michael Jackson concert. But anyways, we cut to the remaining 4 members of the Ishaku just chilling outside the threat elimination grounds. We get a good look at our antagonist and... Damn! You know, maybe the Ishaku had a point. Maybe that Kunoshige guy did need to die. But hold up, I swore Hokazono said he couldn't draw women. But she over here looking bad as hell, got me ready to risk it all. She asks if they're nervous and bro's confused. She says he yawned, so that must mean he's nervous. Bro deflates it and spreads the blame like, I'm not the only one yawning. Dog. What the hell he got going on his head? Bro saw Avatar Aang and said, I'll have what he's having. Instead of killing Kunoshige, he should have killed his barber for letting him walk out the chair like that. But it's already enough going on, so let me chill out. Then Yura pulls up, just as they're joking about him being nervous. Yura turns his head and sees an old guy sitting at a desk. Yura asks the old man if he's Kaminabi staff and if he could point him to the restroom. The old guy replies, yeah, that's why he's sitting there. But Yura says that there were a few others on the way in, but they hid. Then he hits him with the, are you afraid to die? Gramps, being a soldier though, says, not at my age. He just wanted a chance to get a look at the people responsible for killing Kunoshige Rokuhira. He says there aren't many surprises at his age, but he was hoping to see some monsters. Instead, he says they're tougher than the average thug, but based on what he's seen so far, nothing crazy. He basically said they don't got any aura and they look sweet as cream. He basically tells them all they're good at is sneaking around. Then he just tells them to go on, head to the elimination grounds. Of course, at the thought of losing aura, Yura pulls out a coin and suggests a toss. If he wins, Gramps has to put him to the bathroom. Gramps asks, what if I win? And Yura says, you can kill me. Then casually drops a knife on the counter. He says he's the ringleader responsible for killing Kunoshige Rokuhira, and if Gramps wins the coin toss, he'll go down in history as the man who took him out. Only in Kagurabachi do you get the main antagonist betting his life for directions to the nearest urinal. You can't make this shit up. Yura says they're about to risk their lives, and before he does, he will really like to relieve himself. Gramps tells him to find the bathroom himself and leave him out of it. Yura flips the coin and... I'm not gonna lie, I do not understand Japanese, so I'm gonna assume it's bad because the old man is sweating bullets. We get a glimpse into the darkness as we see Yura's eyes are pitch black as he says, "Today, the gods are on my side." Now this panel right here threw the whole community into a frenzy, and rightfully so. Obviously with this moment, it seems Hokazono might be hinting at a connection between Yura and the Sword Master. Some folks started instantly theorizing that Yura might be the Shinichi incarnate or the Malediction incarnate, while others think that he's related to the Sword Master in some sort of way. But the one consistent theory right now, Yura is from the island of Shikoku and he has some type of mysterious power tied to the island. Since Hokazono made it very clear that he drew inspiration from Naruto, I'm starting to see some pain/Nagato energy in Yura's character, especially with all the piercings. If I had to throw my theory into the ring, I'd say Yura might actually be controlled by the Sword Saint like a vessel, kinda how Nagato used Yahiko's body. Because this wouldn't be the first time the Sword Saint has done it, as we saw him try to control Kyoto Sazanami during the Rakuzashi auction arc. But hey, that's just my take. Feel free to drop yours in the comments below if you want. I'm trying to hear what y'all think too. Obviously, Gramps was not familiar with Yura's game and pushed him straight to the bathroom. Now Gramps wanna ask what's with him like he didn't call him a oralist bum 10 seconds ago. Anyway, another Shaku member offers to go with Yura to the bathroom. And once they get there, bro says he's having trouble going. And pause! All those urinals open and they choose to stand right next to each other? It just broke men's bathroom etiquette 101. That's the first thing you supposed to know, bro. But anyway, Yura asks him, "You nervous?" And bro hits him back like, "Do you get nervous?" And then Yura says, "Yeah, especially today since there's a chance we might die." But then he flips it and says he doesn't hate that feeling because nervousness comes right before victory. And to calm him down, Yura tells him not to worry because apparently he's the Hishaku's strongest fighter. We cut back to the others as they prepare to teleport. I don't know bro's name, but he low-key looks like Best Genius from My Hero, so we gonna call him Worst Genius. Worst Genius says there's still a lot of confusion in the field, but even with all that, he can only create a tiny opening, and they won't have time to pick their coordinates, meaning they might end up face to face with the enemy the second they touch down. At the same time, we cut to the force fields down on level 6. Kaminabi higher-ups is talking, saying if we can weather this ambush, it'll be the perfect time to do a sweep. And while that tension builds, we see Yura somewhere else calmly counting down from 10. Higher up asks bro what's wrong and he says nothing. Either this is one of the traitors or bro's perception is on Hall of Fame, because once Yura gets to 5, he's all ready to dip out. We then see the higher up knocking his lights out, so I guess bro actually was one of the traitors. He asks the observer is he alright, and the observer says there was a blip but he restored it. Just for a split second, the panel cuts to behind Hokuri, and that's exactly where the Ishaku spawn in. Worst Genius says this isn't the time they said, and Lady Hishaku hits back like, "Good job adjusting anyways." Worst Genius then tells the team now they gotta pick up the pace. We cut to Yura staring down the hall and Uraha staring right back as Sakuri peeps the emblems and he realizes they're Hishaku. As Sakuri starts stressing, Uraha tells him to chill. "This time I'm armed." Then we hit a flashback where Chihiro explains there's only one kind of spirit energy in a person's body. If you form an eternal contract with an enchanted blade, you'll lose your original sorcery. We cut to Uraha fresh off the deathbed, doctors telling him, with your contract broken, your nervous system is trying to regenerate. We cut back to the present with Yura and Uraha facing off. Uraha starts thinking about everyone the Ishaku has killed, and right then, he activates his original sorcery, and that's where the chapter ends. My final thoughts, this chapter was a solid 8 out of 10. We learned a lot more about the Ishaku, how they move, how they talk, and how they rank in power. Now that we know bro is the strongest on the Ishaku, I low-key want to see him fight Hiyuki since she's the Kamunabi's top dog. Also, I'm real curious what Hokazono's cooking with Yura's character, because this chapter just unlocked 3 different routes for him. Only one way to find out, and that's coming back next week. I'll see y'all then. Until then, love y'all boys. God bless. Stay smooth, y'all.